Hey everyone, and welcome to part 3 of the Trail Ruin Excavation in Minecraft. My name is Daskalos, and I'm a professional archaeologist and certified interpretive guide. Last episode, we excavated a little bit around the tower-like structure and found out that the ruins stretch out in the direction we were hoping. Today, I'm hoping to uncover the rest of the tower, reveal some of the road, and just generally keep plugging away at excavating. And do be sure to hang out until the end of the video, because I've asked someone to join me in this world, and at some point he should be showing up. Now, much like last time, there were a lot of helpful comments, and much like last time, I'm going to take you up on some of those suggestions. So I've now added the unbreakable command to the tools. I will also be replacing the chests with item frames and a piece of glass underneath if I need to. Some of you suggested I use bundles and shulker boxes and just name them in an anvil. But what I'm shooting for is leaving the artifacts in situ and now visible, so that at the end I can look down on the units and I don't have to try to imagine where the artifacts are at. This will take care of both documenting where the artifacts came from within the unit and the visualization that a map would give us. It's just easier all around. Now first, I'd like to chase the tower, and what that means is I'll uncover the backside of the tower and see how far down it goes. I'll then move to the unit next to that and take that down as far as it needs to go as well. I'll repeat this process moving around the tower in order to reveal more of the structures within this small complex. Just a reminder, I've already done research on the trail ruins and have an idea of the general size, shape, and makeup of the complexes. Supposedly they vary slightly, but keep to a relatively same plan. I, of course, won't assume that these particular trail ruins are going to be the same as others, but at a certain point we'll know for sure. But let's quit standing around and talking and get right into it. Now, some of these units I'm taking down to just where I start to see a structure, or in this case what looks like the road surface, and some I'm taking down beyond that. A lot of times archaeologists will dig in certain areas below where they think the ancient ground level should have been in order to see if there's anything else popping up beyond that. As I take down these bulks, you'll see that in one unit there was nothing that came up, while others there's things that constantly pop up, and we're going to address that in a few minutes. Wait, that's a fire pit. That's organics. Huh, that's interesting. Now you're probably wondering why that is interesting, and the reason is because organics don't usually survive. And what I mean by organics are the things that you would think of when I say that, like wood and plant material, but it can also mean finer things like fabric or skin. And there needs to be a very specific condition for organics to survive. A site needs to be either completely void of water and humidity, like the deserts of Peru, or completely inundated with water, like the bogs that you get bog people from. There's also a third category, and that's where there's no oxygen, like the anaerobic layer of the Black Sea. These very specific conditions create an environment in which organics don't naturally decompose or are not consumed by animals or insects. Carbonized organics, like charcoal or wood that's been burned, are usually untouched by insects as well. That's why it's interesting that these fire pits are here in the game, though I suppose with the charcoal in them and the fact that they're burned, it makes some sense. This also means that any wood that would have been in these structures that held them up might not have survived. Something to keep in mind. So let's talk a little bit about profiling. And I'm not talking about the thing that the cops shouldn't be doing, but rather a technique we archaeologists like to use to get a better understanding of the layers that we're working with. A lot of times this is done within a trench, but you can also do it with the bulk of the unit. This is done usually using trowels to skim off a thin layer of the wall of the trench, or bulk, to reveal the layers in a much more contrasting way. Now in our case, we have this unit that I've taken down well beyond where the ruins should be in the unit, and just on the other side of this bulk has a structure. Now we don't know what the shape or how far down that structure goes, so what we're going to do is we're going to take off this bulk to reveal the edge of the structure and the surrounding layers. But let me just show you. Well, that's rather anticlimactic. Anyways, carrying on. You'll also notice that even when I hit structures and start to take down the material, in this case stone, away from the structure, I'm still trying to keep to my units. And this is because I still don't have as good of an overall picture of the site yet, and I'm still wanting to keep to my units just in case. As more of the structure unfolds within these units and I have a better picture of what's going on, it's only then that I'll take down the bulks in between. This is no reason other than to stay organized and comfortable with what I'm excavating. Oh no, that was not a good sound. And my shovel just overdug into that block too. Wait, is overdug even a word? Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm going to recheck the recording and see if I accidentally just broke some suspicious gravel, but I suspect I did. So I'll be right back.
A few minutes later.
Yep, I accidentally just broke that suspicious gravel. So all of you who leave comments saying, just use netherite tools with efficiency 5 and a haste beacon to make it go faster, well that's why I don't do it, because I'll end up over digging like I just did. And that was with an iron shovel too. Well, I guess now is a good time to have this discussion. Breaking artifacts, or part of a site, is not uncommon, and I know you're probably freaking out, but hear me out. A lot of times we archaeologists will do a thing called trenching, and it sounds just like what you think it is. We dig a long trench to see what we can see. I talked about profiling earlier, that's where it comes from. In the process, sometimes you can break artifacts or trench right through a structure, and we are looking to trench right through a structure. But the thing to remember is that in the grand scheme of things, what you're destroying is a fraction of a percentage of the entire site or collection of artifacts. Now, I've backed this world up, and I could go into that file and dig to this spot and see what it was that I broke, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick to being as realistic as I possibly can, and we don't have backups of the real world. Remember, nature grows back, archaeology doesn't. So I'm going to continue knowing that I lost whatever that one artifact is, but also knowing that it's probably not going to change the interpretation of the site. Alright, there you have it. More of the excavation done. It looks like we've uncovered the entirety of the tower, a portion of the road leading from the tower, and a couple of the buildings off to the sides. There's not much more left to dig out. I figure maybe 1 or 2 more episodes of excavation, and maybe a couple more for interpretation, and this site should be done.
Hello?
Oh, you made it! And you're dressed for the job as well.
Where am I? Who are you? And why am I wearing work clothes?
Man, do I have a proposition for you.